I went dancing with two of my friends at Clarke Quay. And now there are people who go dancing for different reasons. Some of them to make new friends. Some of them they're just looking for a hookup. So I go dancing because I like to dance. So my friends tell me I'm a pretty good dancer. So I'm going to show you some of my moves. Okay, so I'll show you some of my moves. So this is basic step. And then you can kind of shake. And then you can move your shoulders. Your hips. So I have 3 precautions when I go dancing. The first one, go with male friends, if possible. So I had a male friend with me that night. The second one, usually I try to dance in a corner if I can. So I have my back covered. And the third, never, ever, ever make eye contact with anyone. So it was an unusually busy night that night, and so we had to move a few times because it was just very crowded. And so we didn't have a corner. And so what happened was we ended up in the middle of the dance floor, in front of the stage, directly in front of the stage. So suddenly there was a guy, he grabs me by the shoulder. I turn around and I tell him, well, I actually yell at him because of the music. But I yelled at him and said, don't touch me. So instead of moving away or even apologizing, he moves even closer to me, and this time he's grabbing me by my waist. So I scream, don't touch me, right? Really, really loudly. And this is when my male friend, he steps in and he's grabbing or trying to create a barrier between me and this guy, and then his friend is grabbing him. So then I lean over and I managed to slap him. So he looked surprised and then angry, and our friends are holding on to us. So what happens next is my friend, my male friend, tries to push me aside to a corner, to somewhere away from him. And then basically everyone just starts dancing and everything goes back to usual. So I didn't look it. My friends told me I didn't look it, but actually I was really shaken inside. I may not have been hurt physically, but emotionally I felt violated. So that night I was too wound up to sleep. It was 3:30. I couldn't sleep. And so what I did was, I do what most people do when they can't sleep. They go on Facebook. So I go on Facebook and I recall this incident, and then I got a lot of responses from my friends. So some of them said, well done, pumpkin. Another one, yeah, slap the man and make a scene. No guy will ever dare to hit a lady back. Yet another person said, it's still a long way to go, but it's one step forward or one slap forward, and I'm sure you earn lots of good karma. Another said, well, seems like the guy deserved to be slapped, or the scum deserved to be slapped. So the more women show that it's not okay, the less men will dare to do things like that. But the whole point of it was, I was just there to have fun. I wasn't there to make a statement. I wasn't prepared to slap anyone. I wasn't there emotionally ready to stand up for women. I managed to slap this guy back because it has happened so many times to me, and I was prepared. And I knew I was safe because my friend was there. So, you know, when you dress up nicely and you dance in a sexy way, people call you names, they call you slut. As a sexologist, I'm called a slut. People look at me like I'm a slut. I may not look like one, I may not behave like one, but just because I talk about sex all the time, that makes me a slut. So when SlutWalk came to Singapore, I was game. I didn't care what it was called. It could have been called whole walk or whatever. I would have been game, because I think it's time that we move beyond labels. It's not about what you call people and what you put onto other people, but it's more about who they are inside. This is why I support SlutWalk from the beginning. It's not okay to touch someone without consent. That's the bottom line. doesn't matter whether you're at the nightclub. It doesn't matter that you're dressed sexily. It doesn't matter if you look beautiful. It hurts, end of the day, for a woman to feel that her body is not her own. And this is something that we women have to put up with and be afraid of every day. I wish we lived in a society where we didn't have to think about what we wear, how we look, how we're behaving every step of the day. This is a burden that women carry with them all the time. And while you can have very enlightened and kind and empowered men coming and saying, oh yeah, I understand your issues, they have no idea how that really feels like because they're not walking in our shoes. I wish that we live in a different world, but we don't. And SlutWalk is one of the steps we are taking to reclaim what is right. We're just making a stand, and hopefully someday more women will feel safer to go dancing. So let's rock on.